Sell them on Etsy, occasionally on Amazon, occasionally on eBay. But I often get asked the question, how do you properly mount wooden gears? There's a few tricks to it that I'd like to go over with you today. You can either create the equipment that I've created or work in your own manner, and I'll go through some of the basic principles in order to make sure that you mount them in a way that they can function together and work properly. One of the most important concepts in making a gear work properly is to have an axle that is absolutely perpendicular to the wall that you're mounting it on. If it's not perpendicular, the axle will not mount properly and it'll cause a misalignment of the gears. Perpendicular is absolutely important. The second most important aspect of it is that they actually are spaced properly so that they can turn freely, as you can see here. I'll go through how I do that and maybe some tricks that'll help you in doing it as well. To begin with, I start off with a 1/2 inch axle. The gears you get, if you order them from me, might be a little bit less than a 1/2 inch. I try and make them a couple thousandths to make sure that you have a snug fit. Now, why would I do that? The reason is because a lot of the axles you get, or wooden dowels, are not exactly a 1/2 inch. A lot of times they are less, and as you know, it's always easier to take wood off than to add it on. So I sometimes make them a little bit less. First thing you need to do is to check my work. Spin the gear, make sure that it is round. Occasionally the CNC machine will skip a little bit and it'll be off by maybe a 1/16 of an inch. That's hard to detect when I'm packaging them and sanding them and shipping them out. But if you get a bad gear, let me know, I'll replace it. First of all, make sure that they're round, spin them around, pay close attention to the edge and make sure that they're round. You'll see here's one that wasn't round, and you can kind of see how there's a wobble, like a wobble to the orbit when I spin it. It might make a nice decorative piece. If you look at it, it's hard to tell that it's off from center. Some people have a better eye for that than I do. But yeah, make sure they're round. Number 2 is, this is the contraption that I created, and it has a flexible distance in the shaft. It's made so that I can move it back and forth to any desired distance. I don't sell this. I probably could if you contacted me, but I'm going to explain just the basics of how this works. So when I'm doing a gear, what I want to do is make sure that they can turn freely. If you do them real tight and then you go back and paint them, or the weather outside adds some humidity to it and you have it really packed really tight, it may cause your gears not to function correctly. I like to use probably about 1/8 of an inch. If you don't have an 1/8 inch drill bit, use a matchstick or something like that. You're going to want a little bit of free play in the gears themselves. That just slipped down there. I'll hold it in the back here. And so if you have that little bit of free play, if you get a little pain on the teeth, then no big deal. So, have my